The film begins with a man sleeping peacefully in his room. When he opens his eyes, he finds himself lying on a road. Sitting in front of him is a woman who approaches and starts a conversation. She introduces herself as Gil Bok-soon, the main character of the story. During their exchange, we learn that the man is a notorious gangster from Japan. Bok-soon informs him that she's there to kill him and explains that she brought him to the road for this reason. She reveals she was hired for the job, indicating she works as a contract killer for a company called MK, which specializes in assassination contracts. Bok-soon is known to be their most lethal assassin. The man mocks her, doubting her ability to kill him, and argues that if she could, she would have done it while he was asleep. Bok-soon counters by explaining that she could have easily killed him, but didn't because of her 17-year-old daughter, who insists that everyone deserves a fair chance to defend themselves. With that, Bok-soon tosses a sword in front of the man, challenging him to a fight. A fierce battle unfolds between them, with both landing heavy blows. Bok-soon soon realizes the man is exceptionally strong and may even overpower her. Acting quickly, she retreats to her car, grabs a gun, and shoots him from a distance, severely injuring him. She then approaches and delivers the final shot, completing her mission. Afterward, Bok-soon returns home and resumes her daily routine. While sorting laundry, she finds a pack of cigarettes among her daughter's belongings. This discovery infuriates her, as it reminds her of her own childhood when her father punished her for smoking by forcing her to eat cigarettes. Reliving those memories, Bok-soon starts smoking again. Shortly after, her daughter arrives home from school. Bok-soon confronts her and demands that she quit smoking. Her daughter reacts angrily, accusing Bok-soon of being a hypocrite, saying, "If you do it yourself, why are you telling me to stop?" She storms off to her room, angry at her daughter's behavior. Bok-soon follows her. By the time she reaches, her daughter has calmed down and apologizes, admitting that she shouldn't have said those things. The scene then shifts to a man and a woman watching the news on TV. They are siblings, and the news reports that a powerful gangster in the city has been murdered, though the identity of the killer remains unknown. It turns out the murdered gangster is the same man Bok-soon killed. The man watching the news, who is Bok-soon's boss, praises her skills. From their conversation, we learn that Bok-soon is his top assassin. However, his sister, Min-hee, doesn't share the same admiration for Bok-soon. The discussion also reveals that Bok-soon's contract with MK is nearing its end, but the boss wants her to renew it because of her unmatched skills and flawless track record. The story shifts again as Bok-soon meets her friends, who are also assassins, at a hotel. They admire Bok-soon and aspire to be as skilled as her, but they are currently out of work. One of them blames the strict rules set by MK's boss for their predicament. These rules include prohibitions against killing children, leaving MK to join another company, or abandoning a mission before completing it. Violating these rules results in severe punishments, making it difficult for them to find work. After the meeting, Bok-soon heads to her car but notices a group of men tampering with it. When they see her, they step aside but start harassing her. At that moment, one of Bok-soon's friends arrives and takes down the men with impressive fighting skills. Bok-soon is both impressed and grateful. After the fight, her friend approaches her. To show her gratitude, Bok-soon offers him some money, but he refuses. The scene then shifts to Bok-soon's daughter spending time with her friend. It's revealed that they like each other, but are keeping their relationship a secret. While smoking together, 3 boys approach them. Sensing trouble, Bok-soon's daughter tries to leave, but one of the boys grabs her hand and behaves inappropriately. Annoyed, she warns him she break his hand and walks away. The boy's friends laugh at his embarrassment, leaving him furious with her. At home, while Bok-soon and her daughter are having dinner, her daughter keeps getting text notifications on her phone. Curious, Bok-soon asks if it's a boy texting her, but her daughter denies it. She explains that the students at school have been assigned to give speeches on whether men or women can be killers. Her daughter plans to argue that only men can be killers because it's rare and socially unacceptable for women to take on that role. Bok-soon is surprised and uneasy upon hearing this, as her daughter has no idea her mother is one of the most lethal killers in the world. The next day, as Bok-soon heads to her office, Min-hee approaches her. Min-hee greets Bok-soon warmly, pretending to be friendly, though in truth, she harbors deep resentment toward her. Nearby, a skilled young fighter, a girl, was sparring with a boy. She grabs him by the neck, slams him onto a table, and delivers a series of powerful blows before presenting him to Min-hee. Min-hee, who was training new recruits for the company, regards the fighter girl as her star student, the best among the trainees. When Bok-soon arrives, the atmosphere changes. Everyone greets her with respect, acknowledging her as their senior and the most formidable assassin in the company. Watching this, Min-hee grows jealous and begins to boast about the fighter girl, claiming that one day she surpassed Bok-soon. Bok-soon doesn't respond and starts to leave, but Min-hee stops her. She challenges Bok-soon, saying the fighter girl is already stronger and more dangerous than Bok-soon was at her age. Min-hee proposes a fight between the two. Bok-soon accepts the challenge, and the match begins. The fighter girl launches into a series of quick, precise attacks, showcasing her unique combat skills. Despite her efforts, Bok-soon expertly dodges each move. When the girl attempts a final attack with a knife, Bok-soon counters with superior technique, defeating her decisively. Afterward, Bok-soon meets with her boss. He reminds her that her contract with the company is almost up and expresses his desire to renew it, wanting her to continue working for him. Bok-soon, however, hesitates. She explains that her daughter is growing up and she doesn't want her job to negatively affect her. She admits she's seriously considering leaving this life behind. While they're talking, Bok-soon's phone rings. She answers, and her expression quickly changes to one of alarm. She excuses herself and rushes out. The call is from her daughter's school, informing her that her daughter attacked a boy with scissors. Bok-soon hurries to the school, where she finds her daughter and her daughter's friend. Neither of them will explain what happened or why they did something so dangerous. As a result, the school suspends her daughter for a week. Bok-soon scolds her as they leave. Once they're in the car, Bok-soon demands to know why her daughter attacked the boy. Her daughter's response leaves her shaken. She admits that she wanted to kill him, but couldn't go through with it. Bok-soon is stunned and at a loss for words. Later, Bok-soon confides in a close friend. She reveals her fears, recalling how she committed her first murder at the age of 17. She worries that her daughter might be headed down the same dark path. Bok-soon wants desperately to shield her daughter from the influence of her profession and hopes to guide her toward a better future. At home, Bok-soon tries to reason with her daughter, urging her to control her anger and avoid such reckless behavior. But her daughter refuses to listen and walks away. Outside, her daughter's face is filled with worry, as if something is deeply troubling her, but she can't bring herself to talk to her mother about it. Noticing her daughter's changing behavior, Bok-soon grows increasingly concerned. Shortly after, Bok-soon receives a call from her boss, assigning her to a new mission. He informs her that the fighter girl will be accompanying her. The following day, Bok-soon and the fighter girl meet before heading out. The fighter girl proudly shows off her weapon, and they set off to their target's location. Their mission is to assassinate a young man and make it look like a suicide. Once they arrive at his house, they wait until he's asleep and release a gas to render him unconscious. As they begin to stage the scene, the fighter girl prepares to cut the man's veins in a straight line. Bok-soon stops her and explains that people who take their own lives rarely cut in straight lines. Fear causes them to cut unevenly. Bok-soon then demonstrates the correct way to stage the scene. As Bok-soon prepared to continue with the mission, she noticed a framed photo of the boy on a nearby table. Upon closer inspection, she realized the boy was the son of a government minister. Beside the photo was a note, and it became clear to Bok-soon that the minister, the boy's own father, wanted him dead. While processing this revelation, Bok-soon received a call from her daughter. She quickly sent the fighter girl out of the room and answered the phone. On the other end, her daughter apologized for her earlier behavior and asked her to come home soon. This unexpected show of love and vulnerability moved Bok-soon to tears. Her daughter had never spoken to her in such a heartfelt way before. The moment reminded Bok-soon of how much her work had distanced her from her daughter, filling her with guilt and an overwhelming sense of emotion. In the next scene, Bok-soon's boss is shown sitting in a bar in Russia, where he's on a mission. He received a call from Bok-soon, who told him she had failed to complete her assignment. Her boss, shocked by this news, found it hard to believe it was completely out of character for Bok-soon, who had never failed a mission before. Bok-soon explained that she couldn't kill the boy because the gas they had released only partially rendered him unconscious, and he woke up. In truth, however, Bok-soon was lying. Her daughter's call and emotional words had softened her resolve, making her unable to carry out the mission. Moments later, chaos erupted in the bar as several people launched an ambush on Bok-soon's boss. But he fought them off single-handedly, shooting down every attacker. Once the fight was over, he resumed his conversation with Bok-soon. He told her that breaking the rules of the organization came with a severe punishment, death. Bok-soon pleaded with him, saying that if he spared her life, she would agree to renew her contract and continue working for him in the future. After finishing his mission in Russia, the boss boarded a plane to return home. While in flight, he called Min-hee. He informed her that Bok-soon had failed her mission. Min-hee, furious, insisted that Bok-soon should face punishment for breaking company rules. However, the boss dismissed the idea, explaining that Bok-soon was the company's most skilled and senior assassin. He expressed his intent to continue working with her, then ended the call. As the boss sat in silence, memories of his past with Bok-soon surfaced. He recalled the time he was contracted to kill Bok-soon's father, who was a police officer. When he arrived to carry out the job, Bok-soon unexpectedly appeared. Instead of stopping him, Bok-soon herself killed her father, revealing her deep hatred for the man who had caused her so much suffering. Shockingly, she showed no remorse and even smiled after the act. From that moment, she began working with the boss, becoming one of his most reliable assassins, never failing a mission until now. In the next scene, Min-hee assigned a mission to Bok-soon's friend, revealing the target. The following day, news broke that the minister's son had been murdered. Seeing this, Bok-soon was stunned, knowing she had spared his life. Shortly after, her daughter came home, and the two sat down to talk. Her daughter confessed the truth. She had feelings for her friend. She explained that when she was sitting close to her friend, the minister's son had taken photos of them together. When she demanded he delete the pictures, he refused and made an indecent proposal he would only delete them if she agreed to an intimate relationship with him. Outraged, she refused, and when he threatened her, she lost her temper. That was the reason she attacked him with scissors at school. Hearing this, Bok-soon told her daughter she had made a mistake by not telling her about the incident earlier. Her daughter then turned the question on Bok-soon, asking why she never shared anything about her own work. Bok-soon panicked, fearing her daughter might discover the truth about her secret life. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. When Bok-soon answered, the fighter girl from her mission was standing outside. Bok-soon let her in, immediately held her at knife point, and demanded to know why she was there. The girl revealed she had been fired by the MK company. Later, Bok-soon and the fighter girl went to a hotel where they met other employees of the MK company who were also friends of Bok-soon. During their discussion, Bok-soon learned that the mission to kill the minister's son had ultimately been completed by her friend who carried out the assassination after Bok-soon and the fighter girl had left. Hearing this, Bok-soon felt deeply conflicted and troubled. Meanwhile, Bok-soon's friend receives a call from Min-hee, but Bok-soon answers instead. She learns that Min-hee ordered the completion of the target Bok-soon had spared. Min-hee speaks to everyone present and assigns them a new mission. Suddenly, the hotel owner throws a rope around Bok-soon's neck, trying to strangle her as the others attack. It's a coordinated assault. Min-hee has ordered them to kill Bok-soon. Despite being outnumbered, Bok-soon fights back fiercely, taking them down one by one. During the chaos, the killer fighter joins her side, and together they defeat everyone. When Bok-soon confronts her close friend and prepares to kill him, he begs for forgiveness, claiming Min-hee forced him to act against her. As Bok-soon's phone rings, she notices several missed calls from her daughter. Stepping outside, she calls her back. While leaving the hotel, she speaks with her daughter, but is interrupted when her boss suddenly arrives and catches her. He tries to strangle her, but the killer fighter intervenes, explaining that Min-hee orchestrated the attack and Bok-soon was not to blame. Hearing this, the boss lets Bok-soon go. Bok-soon tells him she won't let Min-hee get away with what she's done. The boss warns her that if she harms Min-hee, he will kill her. Bok-soon retorts that it doesn't matter because the company will come for her anyway. She adds that when everyone learns Min-hee was responsible for killing the company's agents, she won't escape punishment either. The boss promises to protect both Min-hee and Bok-soon because he still wants to work with her. Bok-soon doesn't reply and leaves. After she departs, the boss doesn't let the killer fighter leave. Instead, he kills her. When Bok-soon gets home, she finds her daughter crying. Her daughter reveals that she overheard someone talking about killing her mom. Bok-soon reassures her, but her daughter confesses that she knows the truth. She found a gun in Bok-soon's bag. Relieved that her daughter doesn't know everything, Bok-soon lies, claiming she's a spy. She promises to leave her dangerous work behind. The next day, Bok-soon expresses regret over her choices. Her daughter opens up about her own betrayal, explaining how she trusted her friend only to be let down. Both mother and daughter find themselves consumed by guilt and sorrow over their mistakes. Meanwhile, a meeting of all the company's leaders takes place to address Bok-soon's actions. They reveal she broke the rules by killing members of other companies. One of the leaders accuses the boss of being responsible for this and confronts him with a knife. Enraged, the boss retaliates, stabbing the man in the neck and mouth. This act itself breaks company rules, as weapons are forbidden during meetings. Later, Bok-soon visits the MK company office to sign a new contract. When she encounters Min-hee, her anger boils over. Before signing, she attacks Min-hee, stabbing her in the neck with a pen and slashing her throat. Min-hee dies on the spot. Bok-soon signs the contract and leaves the office, leaving the blooded pen behind as a taunt to the boss. When the boss learns of this, he calls Bok-soon's daughter, telling her that he works with her mother and has received her challenge. He asks her to tell Bok-soon to meet him at the office tomorrow. That evening, during dinner, Bok-soon's daughter shares the boss's message. Bok-soon understands that he has accepted her challenge. The next day, Bok-soon heads to the MK office, fully aware of the risks. When she arrives, the boss fires at her, but none of the bullets hit. He deliberately misses, refusing to kill her with a gun. They sit down to talk and drink, discussing the inevitable fight ahead. Both acknowledge that their skills are evenly matched, and it won't be easy for either to win. Bok-soon confronts the boss, saying she knows he can't kill her because she is his weakness. She reveals that she's aware of his feelings for her, dating back to the day he went to kill her father when she was just 17. Suddenly, Bok-soon attacks, stabbing him in the stomach. As he writhes in pain, he reveals her daughter has been watching the entire scene. Horrified and heartbroken, Bok-soon realizes her daughter has seen her true self, the part of her she always wanted to hide. Her daughter, devastated, begins to cry. Overcome with guilt, Bok-soon leaves the office and returns home. At home, Bok-soon finds her daughter pretending to be asleep. Unbeknownst to Bok-soon, her daughter now knows the full truth, but chooses to act as though she's unaware. A few days later, at school, Bok-soon's daughter hugs her friend, but then issues a chilling threat. She warns her friend that if she ever betrays her or fails to support her, she will kill her. Her sinister smile reveals a darker transformation. She has inherited her mother's ruthless instincts. Bok-soon's actions have left an indelible mark on her daughter, setting her on a path Bok-soon never wanted. The story ends with the daughter's unsettling smile, hinting at the danger that lies ahead.